Hello everyone, welcome to the third session of Creo. This time we will be exploring the part mode inside Creo. Part mode alongside the assembly mode is one of the most extensive or most used modes inside Creo, and we would be spending around 2 to 3 sessions on the part mode. Unlike the sketch mode you have been doing before, uh, the part mode works in a three-dimensional space. You would have three planes to work in, and you can define in those three dimensions. You can even define more planes to work in. So as in sketch mode, you can work only in two-dimensional X or Y or Z, whatever. But in part mode, all the three dimensions of the space would be available to you to create different parts. So while in part mode, you can import the sketches inside the part mode. We are going to be looking at it in a while, and also you can make those sketches inside the part mode. Generally, when you are a bit good with the Creo, you never need to use the sketch mode. We generally create the sketches inside the part mode because it is somewhat easier, or it misses one step which we don't need when we sketch inside the part mode, and it makes things more visible to us, or more clear to us, like how we're going to do this. To import the part or the sketch inside the part mode, you have two ways to do it. Either you can just select it, copy it and paste it inside the part mode, or you can save your sketch, which is the better way, which is the more professional way. You can save your sketch and you can then import that sketch inside the part mode. So the first thing which I need to do is select my working directory by clicking over here. Once I'm selecting my working directory, I'm selecting the one which already has my sketch. So if I just go and say all files, all of these files are available over here. This .sec is the file for Creo, file extension for Creo for sketch. PRT is for part, and then ASM for assembly, and then you can save any of these in IGS file format to use it in any other software, in any other software. For example, if you need to move your software or move your part into SolidWorks to visualize or to do something, or into CATIA or into any other software, you can always convert your file or save your file as a IGS, and then you can open that up in any other software. So when I'm over here, I'm just going to click OK. Now my working directory is okay. Now my working directory is set. So the first thing we need to set over here is select the working directory. So I'm selecting my working directory to the folder where I already have some sketches. So if I just go over here and click all files, you can see that these SEC files, this is the Creo extension for sketch files. PRT is your file for parts, and ASM would be for assembly. And also you can convert these files, or you can export these files into IGS format to open up in any other software. For example, if you have created some assembly in Creo and you want to open that up in SolidWorks or Inventor, you can always convert that into thing into IGS, and then it would be open up. So I'll just select this as my working directory. So once my working directory is set, the first thing I'm going to show you here is, like, I'm just going to go and open up a sketch. So there are two ways, like in which you can import these sketches into your part mode. One is the simple tried and tested copy paste. It works. You can just copy your sketch and select a plain sketch. We are going to do that in a bit, and you can just paste it over there. The other thing you can do is you can import the saved sketch, which is recommended. You create the sketch, you save it, and then you can import that into your Creo window. So for now, I'm just going to open this up. So here we have this sort of a sketch with some strong dimensions, some weak dimensions, and things like that. it could be any sketch, like it can be the sketch we made in the previous session. So for the copy paste thing, I'm just going to select all of this, press Ctrl C on my keyboard, Ctrl and C. On the Mac it would be Command C, I think. I'm going to open up a new part, file, new, select the part mode, name your part to whatever you want it to be, and remember that uncheck this use default template. Always remember to uncheck this use default template, but because if you don't uncheck it, the Creo would just go and select any random system of units, maybe inches or maybe anything, but if you want to choose your system of units, uncheck this, and then when you click on OK, a new window would pop up in which you can just search for MMNS part solid ABS. Here it is, MMNS part solid ABS, millimeter Newton second part solid absolute. Just press OK, and a new window would open up with 3 planes. That is the part mode. This is what I was talking about. Now you can work in any plane over here in any direction you want. So all the 3 dimensions of the space are open to you to create the parts. For the copy paste thing, I'm just going to select one plane, any plane which I want to sketch in. For example, if I want to sketch in front plane, I will select the front plane. If I want to select the top plane, let's go with the top plane. And then I'm going to click on sketch. In the data menu, I have this sketch window available. I'm just going to click over there. And then now you see it would be somewhat hard to sketch on this plane, the one we are working on. So if you want it to be perpendicular to you, you can always click on this sketch view tab. So once you have selected your plane, you can always click on sketch. When you click on sketch, now you are going to sketch on this plane only, which you have selected. But over here, if you try, it's going to be like really difficult to sketch in a 2D plane in a 3D window, right? So what you can always do is you can click on this tab, sketch view. It would make the sketch window perpendicular to you, and then you can easily work with it. So I'm just going to delete these ones. And if you remember, I have copied a drawing from the previous window. I'm just going to try to use that one now. I'm just selecting and deleting. So over here, right click, it's not working, or Control V. If you press Control V, you would see a plus sign would appear with your cursor. And then if you click anywhere, your drawing would come up over here, and then you can move it anywhere you want to. And then you can change the scale. I'm just going for scale 1. And then when I press OK, I exit the sketch pane and I am now inside, or I have exited the paste pane and now I am inside the sketch pane again. Now if I want, I can delete this coordinate system which I created previously, but if you leave it there, no worries. Let's try to make it 3D. Press OK. Keeping the sketch selected, when I press on extrude, it should give us a 3D figure. Then you can press OK and exit that. And also you can just select any side or any stuff over here and you can sketch on that too. Let's try sketching it over here on this pane, and you have this reference. For example, if I want to draw something with reference to this line, my mouse is not capturing this line and I cannot really define where this line is. And Creo can help you. You can always add references. So references are those lines which are You can say that these are virtual lines, these are not real lines, but they would appear to help you out. So I can just select references and add any references which I want. And references would always be the existing geometrical shapes. It would not be something you are going to create. And then I can create anything over here. For example, there are two circles already. Let's create a rectangle or square, some sort of, maybe rectangle. Yeah, rectangle is fine. And I can press OK. And then now I can just deal with this sketch. What's gonna do, I can extrude it out. If I want to make a cut of this shape, I can always take it to the other side and always make sure that remove material is selected. Or what can I do is I can always use this thicken sketch option too, in which it would create for me something which a particular thickness, and I can add thickness over here. And then even on this sketch, this new sketch, I can create more sketches and I can create more shapes. For example, over here, let's create a hole. I'll draw a circle. Okay. And then extrude, cut it. And there's this arrow. I can always change this to change the direction. And there is this depth which you can do. Or for example, like over here, I want it to be going through all the surfaces. Or let's say I created a hole like this. Now you have some options over here. Options. You can select the height or depth. For example, variable. You can do for symmetric, both on same side. Let's talk about that on some other diagram. If I select through all, it's gonna go through all the surfaces in its way. To the next. Just try to work out on these, like how these options work. There are like several options over here. To some reference point, whatever you set. For example, if I set this as my reference point, or if I remove this from over here and I select this as my reference point, this is how extrude is going to work. Let's try to import the sketch over here instead of just copying pasting it. Instead of copying and pasting the sketch, we are going to import that sketch to our part window. So once inside the part window, you can always select it's going to be the same. You are going to select your window your plane in which you are going to work in. Click on sketch view, and then you have this import tab over here. You can click on that. You can import any sketch you want to, and the rest is same as you did in copy and pasting. Like let's scale that. Let's rotate that by 25 degrees maybe. You can if your sketch is lost somewhere like this, you can always click on this tab, which is in the small pane called refit, and it would refit that. It's looking odd. Let's make it 0. Click on OK, exit the sketch pane, and then you can extrude that. Let's say I want to make something. Let's create a shape similar. Okay, let's say that I want to sketch something over here in this very middle of this thing. Maybe there is no plane over here on which I can sketch. All right, I want to sketch it in this direction, not in this direction. Otherwise, I would have chosen this top plane. I want to sketch something right over here. How I'm going to do that? I'm going to create another plane. So from over here, you can always select plane. And the first reference, because you can take it from this plane or this plane, whatever reference. I'm going to take this plane as my reference, and my new plane would be at 5 millimeters from my initial plane. I'm just selecting it randomly. Now I have another datum plane over here which I can select and I can draw on this. Let's sketch something on this thing. Let's select these as our references. And let's try to sketch something, maybe with a line. Let's start from over here. I'm just trying to create a random shape over here. Close surface. Now you can see it's right at that datum plane. And now I can even extrude that to whatever length I want. And now over here, let's talk about that option, the symmetry one. So if I want this thing to not to be extruding on one side, but to be extruding on both sides equally, I can always select symmetric. Now it's going to extrude on both sides with equal thing. Now this arrow doesn't have any value. You can always choose to next. There is no next surface, so it's not extruding. Variable, which is the most common one. Through all, there is no surface. To reference, you would have to select a reference. For example, if I select this reference, or extrude is a really great tool. You are going to be using this a lot in upcoming sessions, and even while you're working on any CAD software. This is one of the most effective tools inside this whole software. Like you can almost make anything using just extrude and revolve commands. There are some things you would not be able to make, some things some really complex shape, then all of the other things come into play with that point. Even like, for example, holes you can create it with extrude, or revolve. Drafts you can create it with extrude. Rounds you can create with revolve. Even shell you can create with extrude. So this command is going to stay with you to the point wherever you are going to use CAD. Let's delete this datum 2, and let's try, for example, like let's try to do a speed run and make some things out of just extrude. I have taken a shape from its inbuilt library. We are going to be discussing about that in the later sessions. In the next session, you can extrude that, and if I want to round these corners, I can always again sketch, create another sketch on the top of it. Let's create another sketch. Let's maybe round these just like we did in sketch menu. Now I can extrude this thing too, and I want it to be removing material on the other side, and I can always change the direction. So have fun with extrude command. Just try to learn it, like try to make things which is in front of you. I can give you assignment if you want. You try to make a monitor using just extrude command, and it would be very easy to make. If you want to, like, you can, it's not as a formative assessment or anything like that. I'm just giving you like a suggestion over here, try to build up a monitor or a TV using just extrude and sketch commands, and I hope you would be able to make it. See you in the next session. Bye bye.